to take the narco test.
लेकिन अगर फेडरेशन के घोटाले गिलवाने हैं ना तो मैं करवाने के लिए तैयार हूँ। लेकिन उनके साथ विनोद तोमर है, एक जितेंद्र चीफ कोच लड़कियों का और एक फिजियो है धीरेन्द्र प्रताप।
और इस मामले में
लड़कियों ने बोल दिया ना कि हमारा नार्को टेस्ट करवाइए, तो लड़कियां करवाएंगी ना, वो सारी कंप्लेंट दे रखी जिन्होंने।
Farmers have come out in support of wrestling heroes who are on the road demanding arrest of Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh, who is accused of sexually harassing 7 female athletes.
28 तारीख को वहाँ पे फिर पहुँचना है, 23 तारीख को जाना है वहाँ पे। कैंडल मार्च में ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा महिलाएं शामिल हो, पुरुष जाएं। कैंडल मार्च इंडिया गेट पर रहेगा, 5 बजे वहाँ पहुँच जाए। उसके बाद में 28 तारीख को वहाँ पे फिर मीटिंग होगी, तो उसमें ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोग उसमें पहुँचे।
The protesting wrestlers will take out another round of candlelight march from Jantar Mantar to India Gate on Tuesday when their protest completes 1 month. Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's quickly cut across to my colleague Ram Kinkar, who's joining us with the very latest. Ram, can you get us up to speed with the latest? It's been 38 days and counting, Ram. Are wrestlers still squatting there? Now they've decided they will take the narco test as charged by Brij Bhushan Sharan.
Yes, after the statement of the Brij Bhushan Sharan, when he posted over the Facebook that he is ready for the narco test, day after, wrestlers agreed of that, and they did the press conference, and they said that they are also ready. Not only the Vinesh, Phogat, Bajrang, Punia, but all those wrestlers who are the victim of this case, and there are total 7 victims. So you can say, interestingly, you can say that the both parties, suspects as well as the victims, both are ready, but Delhi police is not showing any interest in the polygraph or the any kind of lie detector test. But yes, it has been 30th day, tomorrow it will be the 30th day, and yesterday there was a Mahapanchayat held in the Mehem of Haryana, and all the Khap had already decided that they will swell this protest over the time. So you can see there is also the candle march scheduled tomorrow at India Gate, and these wrestlers will show their solidarity against the Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh. And latest development is that, firstly, they said that till 21st of the May, they will wait for the arrest. If it will not happen by the agencies, then they will swell their protest. And again, new date is coming from the wrestlers' side that 27th May is the deadline for the arrest of Brij Bhushan Sharan and his house. So that's why we can say that it is a pressure tactics over the Brij Bhushan Sharan. On the other hand, if you see that Delhi police, what Delhi police is doing, Delhi police has made a SIT, a special investigation team is also investigating this issue, and there are the 7 victims. One case is under the POCSO Act, and now the police is saying that if they will need the arrest of Brij Bhushan Sharan, then they will arrest, but till now they are investigating the issue.
Well, that's what's bizarre.
Appreciate that now it is the action mode of the story.
Ram, appreciate you joining us. You know, that's what's most shocking, that there is a POCSO case. It's been 30 days. It's been over 15 that an FIR has been lodged. Yet, there has been no arrest. Forget about an arrest. The man in question, Brij Bhushan Sharan, hasn't even been called in for investigation. I want to cut across right now to Vikram Singh, former DGP, Charu Wallikhana, advocate, Supreme Court. She's also a former NCW member, and we'll also be joined in a short while from now, former athlete and Olympian Krishna Punia, who was with the BJP since then, has left the party and has been squatting with these wrestlers at Jantar Mantar over the last 30 days for justice. Vikram Singh, you know, one very basic question. When there is an accused under a POCSO Act, leave alone an arrest, he hasn't even been included in the ambit of investigations yet. The FIR filed was 15 days ago. How can this man turn around and ask the wrestlers to go through a narco test?
This is getting to be bizarre by the minute, Preeti. It is not a matter of choice or a discretion that the accused or the complainant can say that they want a narco analysis. It is for the investigating team to identify the reasons, because there are multiple case laws and regarding section 161 of the CRPC that everybody has to come out with the truth as far as investigation is concerned. Article 20, sub-clause 3 of the Constitution, that yes, nobody can be forced to take up the narco analysis. And also the case laws, without going into the details. The investigators has not covered themselves with glory, because the FIR was lost after considerable delay and after the intervention of the Honorable Supreme Court. And this is happening with those, the complainants happen to be the medal winners in Olympics for the country, not lesser mortals like me. Now, if the investigation had been prompt, which it has not been, and there's a provision in the IPC 166A of the IPC that if the IEO is found negligent in such matters, they should be taken to task and the case against them should be registered. And there is a provision of imprisonment for 6 months against them also. I don't think anything on the lines of pure and simple legal investigation is happening. It is one against the allegation and counter allegations, Preeti.
Right.
I wish the investigators do justice to investigation and come out with the facts.
You know, as I go to other guests, I want to ask you one very basic question, sir. You know, you've been a DGP for years. If there is a POCSO case against someone and there is an underage girl involved when it comes down to sexual harassment, usually one would think that an arrest would be made immediately.
Very good question. I would say that in such matters, if the complainant says that this is what has happened, there is no other evidence that is required. Her testimony and a statement before a magistrate are reason enough to make that arrest without waste of time. And they say shoot first, apologize later, let the accused go and prove himself innocent before a court of law. It is not for the investigator to become a high court judge himself.
You know, that's the bizarre part, sir, and I'm going to bring in our other guests as well, because earlier on, their statement, the 7 girls who've been sexually abused, was not even recorded before a magistrate. It wasn't recorded under section 164 of the IPC, but 161. Finally, after pressure, that is when the Delhi police recorded their statement in front of a magistrate. Joining me right now is also Krishna Punia, former athlete and Olympian. पुनिया जी, बहुत शुक्रिया कि आप हमसे जुड़िए. हर दिन आप जा रही हैं इन लड़कियों के साथ बैठने. आप खुद बीजेपी के लीडर रही हुई हैं, अभी नहीं हैं, पर ये आपको समझ में आ रहा है ये हो क्या रहा है, कृष्णा जी?
प्रीति जी, पहले तो मैं करेक्ट कर लूं कि मैं बीजेपी से नहीं, मैं कांग्रेस से एमएलए हूं.
जी
और मैं दूसरा, मैं प्रीति जी ये कहना चाहूंगी कि सर्वप्रथम मैं महिला हूं और हमारे देश की बच्चियों के साथ हो रहा है. मैं एथलीट रही और सब बातों से परे होकर मैं इस धरने प्रदर्शन पे इसलिए भी पहुंची कि आज हमारी जो बच्चियां हैं वो धरना प्रदर्शन पर हैं. और किस लिए हैं, मैं कहना चाहूंगी कि हमारे देश के संस्कार इतने कमजोर नहीं है कि कोई बेटी अपनी आबरू को दांव पे लगा के इस तरीके से पूरे देश के सामने अपने आप को वो भेजेगी. तो ये जो हो रहा है वो बहुत ही दयनीय, मैं कहना चाहूंगी, पीड़ा है. संवेदनाएं मर गई हैं लोगों की. आज जिन खिलाड़ियों ने ये आवाज उठाई है उन्हीं से सवाल किया जा रहा है कि जैसे वो खुद ही दोषी हों. आज तक अपराधी है, वो पोक्सो एक्ट उस पे लगा है, गिरफ्तार नहीं हुआ है. उसके मुताबिक मीडिया ट्रायल चल रही है, मेरा नार्को टेस्ट हो जाए, उनका नार्को टेस्ट हो जाए. पद पे वो बना हुआ है. 15 रुपए की कीमत वो एक मेडल की लगाता है. जब एक एथलीट को 15 साल दिन रात मेहनत करके जो मेडल मिलता है तो उसकी 15 रुपए कीमत आंकता है, तो वो व्यक्ति कैसे खेलों का भला कर सकता है. दूसरा प्रीति, मैं ये जरूर कहना चाहूंगी कि महिलाओं को भगवान ने एक ऐसा गिफ्ट दिया. बैड टच गुड टच तो आदमी भी समझ सकता है, लेकिन महिला एक आंख के जो नजर से, जो अगर किसी मर्द की नजर भी गलत होगी तो वो पहचान सकती है कि ये व्यक्ति मेरे को किस नजर से देख रहा है. तो उन लड़कियों ने जो बात देश के सामने उठाई है, तो इसके लिए मैं जरूर कहना चाहूंगी कि ब्रिज भूषण शरण को तुरंत रूप से गिरफ्तार हो जाना चाहिए. उनको ये सारे मैं कहूंगी कि वो जो पद है आज तक जो बने हुए हैं, बेशक से एडोक कमेटी बन गई है, लेकिन फिर भी वो अपने आप को इतने घमंड में चूर हैं और जिनके ऊपर इतने आपराधिक मामले हों और बार बार वो अपने आप को सफाई पेश कर रहा हो, एक तरीके से एक राजाशाही दिखा रहा हो कि मैं जैसा कहूँ वैसे इन्वेस्टिगेशन होना चाहिए. खिलाड़ियों से बार बार सवाल किया जा रहा है जैसे वो अपराधी हों. तो इससे ज्यादा विडंबना हमारे देश के लिए और क्या हो सकती है. पुनिया जी, मैं एक बार चारू वाली खन्ना के साथ भी जुड़ना चाहूंगी.
You know, ma'am, the fact is you've been a former NCW member yourself. Do you see a discrepancy there? The NCW completely missing, usually does very quickly take suo moto cognizance. What's stopping the NCW from taking suo moto cognizance here? It's been 30 days.
Absolutely. I think it's very disappointing that this whole issue of sexual assault and harassment has got mired in politics. Like the sports person sitting with us on the panel, first was in this party, now she's come to the other party, she's speaking out. So it's becoming like a Congress versus BJP. BJP is quiet. We have the Women and Child Development Minister who should have taken a stand immediately. I mean, look at these girls. If this is the condition of girls who are sports persons, who are Olympians, who have been awarded, and they cannot even get their basic thing, which is an FIR. You can imagine in the rural areas what happens when a woman is raped or sexually assaulted. The second issue is that, you know, they've made a mockery of justice. This whole thing about the narco text. Is the accused and are the victims directing the investigation? Where is the police's investigation taking as per the due process of law? Someone is saying narco text karo, the other person is saying I will do it. I mean, they've made a mockery. Look, you see, because these girls are Olympians also, the entire international media, what is the image that it's giving? India's image, which is being portrayed to the world, that the rule of law is not taking place. And this kind of, you know, mockery of the justice system, there's no CRPC which is applicable. Our DGP very rightly said under section 166A, which was amended, because, you know, post-Nirbhaya, the outrage and the laws were made strict and it had become mandatory for the police to register FIR, whether it's rape, sexual harassment, stalking, disrobing. But the police didn't register and the girls have to go to the Supreme Court. And after the matter is registered, I'm not too sure, it's not clear if the magistrate, the 161 statement is taken by the police immediately. Then they move an application to the magistrate for a recording of the statement of the victims under 164.
That's happened, ma'am.
Even knowing how things are in India, it takes like 5-6 years for trial to be completed. So even if the victim becomes hostile, on the ground of a 164 statement, the conviction can take place. But it's not clear whether 164 has been recorded, and if 164 has been recorded, then it's very shocking that you know, the man has not been arrested, especially when POCSO is there. And in POCSO is it deals specifically with sexual assault. It deals with sexual harassment, sexual assault, penetrative sexual assault, aggravated sexual assault, aggravated penetrative. And when the word aggravated, it grades them, unlike the Indian Penal Code. When they use the word aggravated, that means that a person who is in custody, either it's a police or a person who's a hostel warden, or in this case, it is the Federation Chief. So who is in charge of those people? If he is accused of sexual harassment, immediately the police will go to him.
Right. I want to go to Vikram Singh once again. Mr. Singh, because you know what's happening right now is that it's bizarre. After not recording the statement in front of a magistrate, then now finally recording the statement in front of a magistrate, there is no arrest, which one would expect because it is a POCSO case. The owner should lie on Mr. Sharan to prove otherwise. Having said that, now what we are looking at in the next few days is a movement of the Khap Panchayats from Haryana. So you will see en masse villagers moving at the call of the Khaps towards the national capital. You're creating a law and order situation by not addressing a basic law and order situation which you have on hand.
Very well said, Preeti, in the sense that we have allowed grass to grow underneath our feet. When I say we, the police investigators, they have allowed the situation to drift and given an opportunity to the agitators to do what they are doing now. If they had ensured a prompt and a transparent investigation, which is not rocket science, and ensure that as per evidence and law, they could have either charge sheeted or expunged the case if they said that the allegations are false and frivolous and no case is made out. But they should have taken a principled stand based on law and morality on the basis of evidence, which they have painfully not done till now, and given an opportunity to the agitators to do what we saw during the initial minutes of your program, Preeti ji. This is extremely to mark time and look the other way when they had a duty to perform. I wish they were conscious of the responsibility that a prompt investigation. We have had cases where within 7 days in Rajasthan, conviction happened. 53 days in Uttar Pradesh where convictions have happened. And here you have Olympians leveling serious allegations. They cannot be two rule books, one for a member of parliament and for the other for lesser mortals.
कृष्णा पुनिया जी, अब इसमें क्या हो गया है ना कि अब भाजपा कह रही है कि इसमें कांग्रेस आ गई है, ऑपोजिशन पार्टीज आ गई हैं, ये जो पूरा प्रदर्शन था खिलाड़ियों का अब ये पॉलिटिकल हो गया है।
प्रीति जी, सर्वप्रथम जब बच्चों ने ये आवाज उठाई थी हमारे खिलाड़ियों ने, तो उसमें कोई पार्टी नहीं थी और खिलाड़ियों ने स्पोर्ट्स मिनिस्टर के सामने जाके भी बात रखी थी और लगभग 3 महीने का समय इनको दिया, तब तो कोई पार्टी उसके बीच में नहीं थी और वो इसीलिए हम लोग नहीं थे कि कम से कम इनकी बात को सुना जाए और जिन्होंने हमारे देश का मान सम्मान बढ़ाया हो, जिन्होंने देश के लिए मेडल जीता हो, तब तो कोई बात नहीं थी। आज जब वो बच्चे अकेले पढ़ रहे हैं तो क्या हम उन्हें ऐसे अकेला छोड़ दें? ये हमारी मतलब राजनीति से हमारी बच्चियों की आबरू सबसे पहले जरूरी है या राजनीति जरूरी है? तो मैं आपको ये कहना चाहूंगी कि इतनी घटिया सोच करके ये डाइवर्ट करना चाह रहे हैं मुद्दे को कि अब इस पे खापे आ गई है, इस पे कांग्रेस आ गई है, इस पे कोई संगठन आ गया है। ये सब घटिया चलन है और ब्रिज भूषण जिस तरीके से बातें कर रहा है कि 15 रुपए की कीमत है एक मेडल की, क्या जाने वो क्या है क्या नहीं है। वो जो एक अपराधी आदमी, उसे क्या पता मेडल की कीमत क्या है? उनसे पूछिए जिन्होंने 15-15 साल तक दिन रात एक किया हो। और मैं आपको ये कहना चाहूंगी, हाँ, कांग्रेस अगर इन बच्चियों के साथ खड़ी है तो क्या गलत कर रही है? क्या हम अन्याय के खिलाफ हमारे देश के बच्चों के साथ खड़ा नहीं हो सकते हैं? जिस दिन हम मेडल लेकर आते हैं और जब ये बच्चियां मेडल लेकर आई, जब इनके सम्मान में जब प्रधानमंत्री जी खाना रख सकते हैं, उन्हें डिनर दे सकते हैं, तो आज हमारे वो नेता कहाँ चले गए? क्या इन बच्चों से एक बार भी बुलाकर बात नहीं कर सकते थे? आज उन बच्चियों ने एलिगेशन लगाया कि वो प्रधानमंत्री से मिलकर इस बात को रख सकते हैं।
आप हर दिन उनके साथ जाके बैठ रही हैं, बस एक सवाल आपसे करूंगी, अगले 2-3 दिन अब क्या बहुत ज्यादा मूवमेंट होगा जंतर मंतर की तरफ? क्या हरियाणा से और जगह से लोग आके जुड़ रहे हैं इनके साथ?
मैं तो आपके चैनल के माध्यम से ये जरूर लोगों से अपील करना चाहूंगी कि ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोग जुड़ें और उन लोगों से ये जरूर कहना चाहूंगी, जब साक्षी या विनेश या बजरंग जब मेडल जीत कर लाए थे तो आपने अपने बच्चों का वैसो बनाने का आपने भी सपना लिया था और अपने बच्चों को मोटिवेट करते थे कि हमारे बच्चे भी इस तरीके से देश के लिए गौरव प्रदान करें। तो आज वो समय आ गया है, जिन्हें आप अपना हीरो मानते थे, वो हमारे देश के भविष्य को लेकर, हमारे खिलाड़ियों को लेकर, खेल को लेकर आज वो धरना प्रदर्शन पर हैं। तो ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोगों को, अकेला हरियाणा की नहीं कह रही हूँ, किसी भी स्टेट से कोई भी व्यक्ति आ सकता है, मैं ये कहना चाहूंगी, ताकि इनको न्याय मिल सके।
Vikram Singh ji, I'll come back to you. You know, what we are now essentially looking at is a full face-off, between those who will join in this protest. We will see a lot of movement coming in, like Ms. Punia said, maybe not just from Haryana, but primarily from Haryana, because these girls and these, most of these girls, actually all of these 7 girls come from Haryana. So you're creating a huge law and order situation by addressing a very basic faction which hasn't been addressed for over 30 days.
Yes, Preeti ji, indeed an unseemly situation, a face-off, which was totally avoidable. The tragedy of the whole thing is an administrative tragedy that was totally avoidable. A smooth investigation, a fair investigation with integrity, as pure as the judicial process itself, would have ensured that there was no substance or cause for any agitation. But when we allowed and gave an opportunity for an agitation, I do hope that it is taken care of by the law and order enforcement machinery. And now this is a wake-up call. Even now it's possible in the next 72 hours to finalize the investigation and bring the culprit to book or say that no case is made out. But the investigators have to take a stand on the basis of it. If they do not, well, they are inviting trouble and quoting the recipe of disaster.
कृष्णा जी, आप बोलना चाह रही हैं, पर एक सेकंड में एक बार चारू जी के पास जाना चाहूंगी। 1 minute. Charu, the fact is, again, I'll ask you, what is it that's stopping the NCW from taking suo motu cognizance? At least take suo motu cognizance, speak up, because now the silence of the NCW speaks of being partisan.
So absolutely, the whole mandate of the National Commission for Women is protection of women's rights. And when these young girls are literally on the roads, they're being forced to, come on the roads for their harassment rather than the state protecting them. They are literally on the roads and they have to do a dharna, and all kinds of politicians are now, the whole thing is getting messy because politics. Initially, the girls did not want any politician to even come on the stage and talk. But now they are so desperate, like Krishna ji said, कि जब कोई साथ नहीं देता, they are saying anyone, तिनका भी उनको का सहारा चाहिए. So they are willing to, but what about the actual authorities? What about the Ministry of Women and Child Development? What about the National Commission for Women? What about the National Commission for Protection of Child Rights? Where are they? Why are they silent? I mean, this is making the whole thing suspicious. And you can imagine, and all this kind of mockery about, then I am going to do a narco test and you do a narco test and we are willing. It's giving the impression that there's no rule of law in India and everybody is freewheeling. And, people are, you're getting, making people agitated, you're making them revolt. Like the DGP said that you're creating a law and order situation. Why do you want this kind of civil unrest? When a simple thing, like if the process of law of the criminal justice delivery system had worked, go according to the CRPC, do an investigation.
Right.
Once the statements are recorded, arrest the person. What is the sports ministry doing? Total
No,
mishandling
at
by
least
the
bring
sports
him in the
ministry.
ambit of investigation, which is amazing because Mr. Sharan hasn't even been brought in the ambit of investigation yet, and that is what is bizarre. Krishna ji, आप क्या कहना चाह रही थी?
मैं प्रीति जी ये कहना चाह रही थी, जिस दिन हमारी बेटियों ने मेडल जीता था तो वो देश की बेटी थी और सभी भारतीयों ने, इवन चाहे वो बीजेपी हो, चाहे कांग्रेस हो या कोई अदर पार्टी हो, तो सबने ये कहा था कि हमारे भारत का मेडल आया है. आज हम इन बच्चियों को लेकर कभी हम हरियाणा की बेटी बोल देते हैं, कभी एक कौम से बोल देते हैं, कभी कुछ बोल देते हैं, तो इससे शर्मनाक और क्या हो सकता है. जिस दिन मेडल जीता था हमारे भारत की बेटी थी. इसलिए मैं भारतवासियों से ये आग्रह करती हूँ कि इनके प्रोटेस्ट में आप शामिल होइए और ये खुद की आवाज नहीं उठा रही है, ये आने वाली उन बच्चियों की और जिनके साथ ये पीड़ा घटती है, कई बार समाज के डर से, कई बार किसी और के डर से, जो बच्चियां, लाखों बच्चियां हमारी बात नहीं उठा पाती हैं, आज वो धरने पर आकर इनके लिए रोती है. इसलिए मैं ये कहना चाहूंगी कि हमें इन्हें जातियों में या किसी स्टेट में ना बांट कर, ये हमारी देश की हीरो रही हैं और इनकी बात को हमें प्राथमिकता देनी चाहिए और उन्हें उनके न्याय के साथ हमें खड़े होना चाहिए. अगर इसी तरीके से अपराधियों का बचाव होता रहेगा तो हमारी बेटियों का शोषण जारी रहेगा.
जी, बहुत शुक्रिया आप हमसे जुड़े. I appreciate all our panelists for joining us. You know what we're going to say here is, don't believe them. Don't take their word as the gospel truth. But at least follow the due process of law. And that would mean if there is an FIR under POCSO, if there is a statement that has been recorded in front of a magistrate, then an arrest should be imminent. It happens in every other case. Let an investigation, free and fair investigation, take place. Don't take their word as the gospel truth, but at least follow the protocol. A quick break to stay with us. Up next is Gaurav Sawant.
Unlisted, and perhaps that may change in the future. But let me ask you to expand on the capex. As we understand it,